Hi friends, let's talk about the Gabonet. It's been a long time since I've actually released some kind of app, experiment, or hands-on AI design. But only because I've been sinking months into something more practical with the help of a couple of friends. We've been working on a one-stop shop for local roleplayers and folks new to the local side of the AI scene with zero technical barriers for entry. Doesn't matter if you want to use this for light coding, informative chat sessions, or running an agentic D&D campaign, GobboNet handles most daily uses for LLMs outside of high-end coding tasks and complex agentic workflows. Normally, this is the part of a demo video where someone goes on for 15 minutes about backstories before telling you the things that you actually need to know, so let's not do that. If you're looking for information on the bells and whistles though, go to this timestamp. If you just want to know how to set it up, here we go. It's about as simple as it gets. You go to this URL, download the exe, run the installer. Windows might try and scream at you here, by the way. Hit show more and run anyways. We likely won't be getting a cert anytime soon because those cost money and literally just prove that we have a few $100 to spend. So you pick a password and then a model from the suggested list, and that is it. There's nothing to pull from Git, no choosing a backend, no trying to weigh just how far you can push your current setup to run the best model possible, or a mod to pull up just so that you can chat locally from your phone. GobboNet handles all of that for you, and it does so without subscriptions, necessary API keys, an internet connection, or data collection. Not from me, not from anyone else. This was designed to be private and easy to use. It is only as censored as the model you choose, and it can literally run on a decade-old laptop. But that ease of use is the same reason it isn't a supplement for Silly Tavern. Silly Tavern lets you bring your own backend, and with 3 years of incredibly competent devs behind it and a giant community making mods, they're the go-to for a reason. I think of GobboNet like a stepping stone to get somebody to the point where they can comfortably run applications like Silly Tavern. That said, if you're using some kind of paid online service that is like, give us some money and we're gonna give you some uncensored AI, then yeah, GobboNet is going to do the job and then some. Character AI, Emoji, Chai, Replica, Polybuzz, Spicy Chat, Poly AI, Candy AI, and I'm sure a bunch of other things I'm not listing here. You could ditch every one of these services for this app, and arguably you'd have a better experience every time on the things that actually matter, like talking with bots. So let's jump into it. GobboNet was developed by 3 individuals. A friend of the channel with a cybersecurity PhD helped shore up some of the pitfalls, and John McCardle, the dude who made Ageless Linux, he has been helping us out with the porting framework for Linux and Mac that we're hoping to release soon. I've handled a lot of the rest, which, to clear it up, yes, that does mean we're using AI for some of the code here, but everyone working on this project has been working in their respective lane for years. This isn't even my first go around with a front end, it's just the first one designed for local models. My hope is that between the 3 of us, we've managed to produce something useful, and if someone out there is going, that just means that this is slop, I mean, yeah, maybe. The rule in tech used to be eat your own dog food, and I hate that phrase so much. So with the industry now leaning into drink your own champagne, I'm happy to apply that design philosophy from the bottom up. This is my go-to app for daily AI use. I use it all the time, and not because we made it, but because as someone who has a stupid high standard for things like role-playing and has been refining that standard for 2 decades, things have to be comprehensive, and they have to be simple to use. GobboNet is currently on version 1.5.1. It runs off a single installer. We don't bundle anything heavy into it. It calls for a Llama CPP download for the backend, the Hugging Face hosted models to run the chats, and then the text compression model to help manage context windows for long conversations. They're all pulled directly from their respective sites. Then a hardware probe runs to detect if you're running NVIDIA, AMD, Vulkan, or something else, I guess. Anyways, once it's looked at that and your available VRAM, it does some fancy math and chucks out a list of default models for you to pick from. As of releasing this video, we can run a total of 7 different model families, and you'll see them all listed on screen. I'm gonna keep working on ironing out edge cases as time goes on and make this more readily accessible by different models. During your first run, you're gonna be asked to put in a minimum 6-character password, not because I'm being an ass, but because if you're running this at home and someone decides to open up a browser and reach the 127 IP, you're gonna be in for a few awkward looks. Having that password neatly stored away is the easiest solution and one you can always reverse. Beyond reinstalling, the GitHub has an explanation on resetting passwords, so let's not dwell on that. Basically, the system is safe to run at home, but I wouldn't go popping this up at the local coffee shop and expect everything to stay private if somebody really wanted to peep at your activity. At this point, you've got one last thing that you can do before you start chatting. If you didn't check this box on the installer, you can find the LAN launch option in the folder you downloaded everything to. Right-click Launch LAN, run it as administrator, and just like that, you've now got a LAN connection set up, and if the address for it ever changes, GobboNet sends you an alert when you boot it up. You will see it right here, and now you can chat from your phone. From this point, with or without that connection, the web page launches, and you could just start chatting, but before we do, let's check a couple of boxes. This system is as private as I can make it. You can run everything offline from this point and it'll never miss a check, a toggle, a call for anything. There is one exception to this that isn't really an exception. There's another backend similar to Llama called Llama, and yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a derivative version of Llama CPP with some extra knobs and bugs for flavor. One of y'all pointed out to us that Llama was in fact not a telemetry-free service in spite of their stance otherwise. They do really enjoy those gray areas, so of course, we opted not to use it as the primary resource. Thank you to Nifty for that one. Still, using just Llama locked us into 0 native search capabilities. Gabonet fixes this by asking for an Llama API key in the configuration settings here and actively using it for search-based tasks when you hit this little search button right here. But we don't stop there and take the extra step to strip out what data we can from going back to Llama. Obviously, if you want to run search, you need internet, you'll need an API key, and you'll need Llama. But it's entirely optional to do any of those things. And if you're asking why Llama, it's because this project has been in the works for nearly a year and Llama's search support isn't native. Admittedly, this is an example of the path of least resistance. Beyond that though, the bells and whistles are probably what you're expecting. A few default characters, help lay out the capabilities, DMs, storytellers, an informant character that's just there to explain everything about the application. You can download additional models, put them in the designated model folder, and then while GobboNet is running, you can hot swap between models depending on whatever task you're doing. Character cards are a must-have across any front end, and you can bring yours from, like, literally anywhere to here. It'll take the standard imports, the JPEGs, PNGs, V2, V3, all of those character cards. And if you're importing something it's unfamiliar with, well, it won't just toss you a rejection notice, it'll do its best to sort out the information where it can instead. If we scroll down beyond the typical name, avatar, background, personality, greeting, token limits, memory management, and lore system, we'll see, well, every option under the sun in terms of global sliders. Temperature, min P, top K, top P, repeat penalty, repeat last N, XTC probability, XTC threshold, and a dry multiplier. Of course, they come with presets, so you're not fishing in the dark with anything unfamiliar. There is, however, one toggle that doesn't currently work, but it won't break anything if you try and use it, and that is the legit bias. logit bias? One of those two. This thing just fiddles with individual token weights to make them less likely to appear. We'll get to this and other upcoming updates here really soon in the video. Cause first we gotta talk about a field that you might have noticed in between our sliders and the lore book. This here is our custom RAG system. It's called RagTag, and it is a user-controlled retrieval augmented generation system with multiple fallback layers built into it. If you've never used a system like this before, it just means you're able to have the bot pull information when it's relevant without destroying the context window by feeding it giant text blobs for every response. You could just write one plain text entry per line and the system will handle it fine, or you could take some more control. RagTag lets you dictate triggers by attaching tags to them and then giving you the ability to weigh those tags. This makes it so that a character who is, let's say, an angel can get pulled with a word like angel, but something like halo and gentle together might also pull the same entry if those combined weights are high enough. Outside of character cards, customization doesn't have to stop here. There's user-side character cards so that the bot never forgets stuff about who you are. There are scheduled tasks for those who are new to the agent game and just want to dip their toes in, and there's macros, because sometimes you just have some set prompts that you want to send and you want to be able to do that with like a single word or string, which is just way easier at the end of the day if you're like distracted with something. And the cherry on top of this is the mods tab, where you can throw in some JavaScript or a style sheet to completely change how GobboNet looks and functions. There's pretty much nothing you can't do with this, and what's nice is that you can also just throw the application into a state-of-the-art model and then get competent mods that you can bring to the local level. Character cards have a smaller version of this available, a custom code section that is specific to an individual character, and in case your security alarm bells are ringing about running code from character cards, we got that covered too. In general, code is disabled by default. This is just the easiest way to remind everyone to look before uploading, but this isn't a video about security, this is a video about enabling degeneracy. Alright, we gotta be getting close to the 10-minute mark, which just means I really need to start wrapping this up. The small team working on GobboNet has a lot more planned for the rest of the year with a bunch of updates. Version 2 will probably be out sooner than later, and more than anything, this setup is screaming for a group chat feature. Adventures run really well on a single AI running a single character card, but creating a small agent to juggle multiple characters is an absolute must at this point. Beyond that, we're looking at Linux and Mac compatibility because, duh, integrating one of the free character card marketplaces into the application itself, speech to text, maybe some mashing with popular image generation UIs. I don't know, there's lots of stuff on the table, including cloud and API model connections, but considering the fact that this whole thing was built to give some companies the middle finger, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what happens with that one. That being said though, if you want to, it's not like you can't build it yourself. I do really want to put more information in the user's control, including the flow of information, making that hierarchy something that you can muck with. It seems like a good practice, but I don't know if I see it being used that much. And of course, version 2 won't be coming out without another security audit to make sure that we haven't missed any major gaps. We've already done a few rounds of this, and most of the fixes we still have left to do are just to shore up the one thing you're not supposed to do with the system, which is run it in a public, untrusted environment. So yeah, GobboNet is out. It's boss, it's modifiable from every angle, and it's got updates coming. The next of which is actually a pack of 3 mods that help move the app into some different but very specific niches depending on what you pick. First up is Memoria. It's a therapy-centric mod focused on talk therapy with some non-invasive safeguards for crisis detection. Second is Grotto. This is going to be our Dungeon Master mod. Big shout out to Bimble and Catzilla who put in the groundwork for this kind of setup 3 years ago. The last one on the list is finished and just needs to be released. It is Luddite. The community suggested this name because saying Luddite was too hard for me, and this is clearly the only reasonable option left. This is a mod that latches onto Ragtag and whispers sweet nothings into the model's ears to inject into your scenes. Luddite lets you add a series of preset tags that you can add or remove and pin specific details to. Let's keep it safe for work while knowing damn well that that's not the intention of the mod at all, okay? What if I like action thrillers on some nights but slow burn romance on others? Well, Luddite lets me add on tags, which latch onto the character cards, guaranteeing that the ragtag system fires. And if you've set in a line like concentrate on the action, every output should end in the middle of a choice, a point of action, or something dramatic, well then you've got your character card every turn guaranteeing that you are in the middle of that very heavy action scene. I mean, hey, maybe I just like tentacles and sometimes I like normal tentacles and sometimes they just need to be drinking with hypnotic fluid, maybe some tentacle sauce that can just make you right. Well, we're off the rails now, aren't we? This is probably as good a place as any to sign off. GobboNet is out for Windows with more options coming soon. It's FOSS, built to be simple, but with all the complexities for the people who want it. I'll keep updating this in the hopes that somebody out there finds it as useful as I have. In the meantime, though, keeping you guys informed on dealings outside of the GobboNet, I need a break. Probably just a few weeks, but I need to sit down, work on the channel art, let the editors get ahead instead of doing these last moment deadlines that are wholly unfair to them, and just play catch up in general now that real life has finally decided to calm its titties. So until next time, I'll miss your faces. Have fun doing all the things I know you shouldn't be doing. See ya, nerds. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something?